You need your paper.
I need my paper.
Are you recording it yet?
No. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to episode 16 of Tools of War. It is our tabletop 40K X-Wing general miniature gaming podcast. We are here in the new year. It is January 2nd. This is the first thing we are recording in January, and I am very excited. As always, I'm with my BFF Josh, and I, of course, am Aaron, and we are both tools, and
I'm
we
Josh.
like to play war. You are Josh.
And I'm a tool because I just interrupted you.
That's right, you are a tool.
It wouldn't be a tool if I didn't do that.
So we have ordered Chinese food.
We have.
And I made the mistake of ordering an egg roll.
Yes, and I was going to make fun of him because the last time we had Chinese, long wise egg roll, you eat like this. They took a bite out of the center of it, and that's how he's eating. There's no mitigating circumstances. You never do that.
There were mitigating circumstances.
Never do it.
The ends of the egg roll were very hot and they were over crispy. And it was really wide, and I didn't think I could get it. And you took a picture of it and you posted it on Instagram.
I really wanted to say something inappropriate, but I did not. Because this is a family-friendly podcast.
I hear that your child is doing that now.
He ate one on one end, and then spun it, and ate one on the other end, and then he took a bite out of the middle.
That's my preferred method from now on.
So, just in case, if you're a true egg roll connoisseur, and it's your first time eating an egg roll, you take one bite, but you don't break into the actual inside.
No, you just want to get the crispy crust.
Yeah, and then you spin it and do the same thing, and then you eat the little lip that comes off in the center. That's what my son did.
Done. That's what we are doing. By the way, I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday and a fantastic new year for whichever holidays you were celebrating. If you haven't seen it yet, check out our holiday extravaganza video. We played a very fun game of Warhammer on a holiday-themed board, and we had the added bonus of making each other drink a lot.
Some could say our extravaganza was extravagant.
A lot of hot chocolate.
Yeah, it was really gross.
It was so good.
I thought about having hot chocolate again, and then
you're like, I'm never having hot chocolate ever again.
And when we said happy holidays, we're talking about all of the December holidays and also November holidays.
Yes,
because it's been a little while since we posted
a podcast at least.
Yes, yeah, podcasted. Because we've done some games, but we haven't really gotten to the podcast spirit.
But we are now. New year. Should we start season 2? Should this be episode 1 of season 2?
No.
Okay. It's just
if we started at the start of last year, then yes.
But we could just start. It's like you can do whatever you want. It's a new beginning.
I don't want to confuse people.
Welcome to season 2, episode 1 of Tools of War.
This is volume 2.
Volume 2, yes. Guardians of the Galaxy style. Mm-hmm. But we are back, and we had a great time over the holidays. However, I am really glad to be back in the studio. I missed hanging out with you, Josh.
I know, buddy. I know. It's been a little while. We've been playing some games, but it's still really stretched out. We usually see each other a little more.
Well, we've been playing a new version of an old game, and you might have seen those videos online already. If you haven't, we're going to talk about that soon.
There's only one.
Don't worry. But first,
there are multiple recorded.
I bought you an amazing, amazing holiday present.
Yes, you did.
I got you Chapter Approved.
Yes.
And what do you think of Chapter Approved?
It's cool. I thought I was going to be really excited about the Sisters of Battle. I'm not excited. At this point, I just wish they wouldn't have touched anything and just made the new models. The Acts of Fate system is dumb. It's horrible.
So how is it now?
The old version is it was just like extra command points basically that you had during the game.
So if you had the
No, I'm sorry. That's the new version. Hold on. The old version was just like you could do an Act of Faith once per turn.
Right.
And then Celestine could give you another one.
Right.
And they just always went off.
Well, it was a 2-up, right? It was a roll.
No, there's no roll. No, yeah, there was
Celestine's
a 2-up.
Celestine's was guaranteed.
Yes,
and
the other one was just 2-up rolls.
Yeah.
It basically went off because you would just use a command point if you really needed it to happen.
Right.
All right, so the new one it's basically command points. You get 1 point per 10 models in your army and 3 for having an army. So literally it has the rule for command points built in, and then you just get an extra 1 per 10. But they only go off on a die roll of like 3 to 5.
Weird.
And they don't like let you immediately attack. They let you like pile in and attack at the end of the round. They don't let you just make a move. They just add 3 inches to a move. They don't give you an extra shooting phase. They give you a +1 in your shooting phase.
So you don't think that the old rules were OP?
Did you see a lot of tournaments won by Sisters of Battle?
No.
Then they weren't OP. The new one is what is the opposite of overpowered? Underpowered? I want to use a word that's worse than underpowered.
How about trash?
Poop powered. It's poop powered.
Okay.
Very unexcited. There are some stuff that you can do with it that give like tons of stuff, like invulnerable saves and stuff. But Celestine's been changed. The Gemini aren't a part of her unit anymore. She doesn't get the automatic Act of Faith. You don't get the really cool Act of Faith that actually does something in game. Now I have to remember all of the Acts of Faith and then like a whole bunch of command points. And some of the command points you use to actually make the old Acts of Faith a rule again, basically. It changes it so that you have the old Acts of Faith.
That's weird.
It's dumb.
Did they improve any of like the generic models though?
I mean, I didn't go totally into it because I don't, it's not what I was interested in seeing happen. I mean, they improve like penitent engines, but then they rose the price to the ceiling, so you still won't see penitent engines on the board.
Right. And I know a lot of people were upset about the penitent engine not working.
Yeah, I mean, they used to have a 4-up, they could go back and pile in again, and now it happens every time. But like literally the points went up by like 20% or something like that.
It's interesting because Tau got some good price reductions.
Yeah, and they also
you know
got
what's weird, though?
weird 8 thing. Yeah.
They did. You know what's weird? The points changed, but power level didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change power level because it's too generic.
Yeah.
It's already too...
Just seems like if you need to drop... So like the Tau, if you need to drop the points of pretty much every model, then you probably also need to drop the power level corresponding. So for example, Cool Guys Nation Sean is playing a Apocalypse-style campaign. So they're going to be playing 5,000 points once a month for 12 months. And it's going to be narrative style. It's really fun. Super cool. But
gigantic.
It's gigantic. It's like 6 players per side.
It's like 60,000 points of games.
Yeah, but they're doing power level. And so the thing is he like made his whole army for power level, and then Chapter Approved came out, and he point costed it out, and he got like a 2,000 point reduction. So his 5,000 point list went down by 2,000 points, but power level didn't change at all.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a big deal. You know, if you have like pretty much a 40% price reduction, 35% price reduction, but no power level change. And the fact is that the Tau needed that point reduction because the Tau didn't function until you got over a 2,500 point list.
Well, I mean, nobody's really done an in-depth power level versus point level anyways.
Well, I would hope GW has done that.
Well, remember when we played power level on our channel, we would find all kinds of weird things.
Oh yeah, 100, 200 point variances.
Yeah,
easy.
and that was in 1,000, 2,000 point games.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. That's true.
And power level always came out on my side up and on your side down for some reason.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Anyways, so they have the 8th. They've got the Chaos Knights Codex in there. They reprinted a couple pages. They changed some points costs. Not a lot of what... I don't think it's going to super change like a lot of what's going on. I mean, there's going to be some changes, but nothing to get excited about. Listen, I'm upset because of the Sisters of Battle changes. I just wish they would have just... I guess it's still technically a beta codex, so I don't have to use those rules. I can use the old rules still. But yeah, the old rules are so much better.
Do you think they're going to release, when they release the Sisters of Battle plastic, do you think they're going to release a new book and change the rules again?
They're going to do that. They're trying to get feedback from the community. Here's my feedback. It sucks. I was really disappointed. They should have left the faith point system alone.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do a Sisters on Battle versus Sisters on Battle. One person using the new rules and one person using the old rules.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And just see how.
If only we had enough sisters for that.
I'm pretty sure we do. I'm pretty sure we have enough sisters.
We have a lot of sisters.
Not all of them are painted.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of sisters.
Yeah, we do. Let's see. What we're still talking. Oh, there's the new missions.
Yep,
we're gonna try a new mission later
missions.
tonight. We're gonna be doing.
Which mission did you pick?
Haven't picked yet. There's
Okay.
6 regular and 6 Maelstrom, and I hate Maelstrom, so we're gonna just do.
I love Maelstrom.
I know, but you have to like do cards and paper. Yes, competitively, it's probably better to do Maelstrom, but we're not being ultra competitive ever here. So.
No, not ever.
Never. Okay. What else? What did you think? Is there anything cool that you liked in there?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to like go through it as much as you've gone through it because I gave you the book and
That's
you took
true.
the book home.
I did.
So I've only read some
You can look at
articles
it right
and
there.
I could look at it right there. I'm definitely going to go through it in a little bit more detail. I have seen a bunch of changes in the list builders that we use online, and overall I think they've made some good balancing. And I talked to Sean a lot about the Tau, and he's overall really happy with the changes they made with the Tau on the point side. He feels like it got him. I don't know how many points a Tau he has. 15,000, 20,000, something ridiculous. And he pretty much put the Tau away.
Yeah, he was playing Smurfs.
Yeah. And he was playing Smurfs, and he was working on his Chaos Army. And now that the point reductions have come back, he feels like he can actually field it again in under 2,000 points. So he's really happy with those changes. So if you're a Tau player, congratulations. You got good stuff.
Yes.
If you're a Sisters player, I'm sorry.
There wasn't a lot of Sisters players before this.
Yeah, but hopefully there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, I just, they're going to take some of the feedback. There's a lot of, like, hidden stuff in there that's cool. You can make some really, like, you can make your whole army basically have a 4-up invulnerable save and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're still, at the end of the day, there's still T3 Space Marines.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, what am I looking for? Anyways, what else we got? I think that's it for Chapter Approved. I did want to stay on the GW train for one more second because they did release that they're going to be putting out a new Age of Sigmar army.
Ooh.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
So, they're like the Bad Moon blah blah blahs. I don't know. Look at it real quick while I talk about it.
Blah, blah,
Basically,
okay.
they are the goblins, and the goblins are being reimagined, kind of. I mean, they're basically just putting goblins back on the map with a new updated book, but there's a lot of new characters, some new terrain pieces. They got the new spells they're going to be putting out a new book. All of the...
Is it on Warhammer Community?
Yeah, it's on the community site. Anyways, so it's bringing back all of the spider riders and the big spider and all of the Moon Clan orcs. Now they're underneath a new banner, and they have some new mechanics that go around the Bad Moon. What's it called? Gloomspite Gits.
Ooh, wow. That model is really pretty.
Yeah, so they've got a lot of new models coming out for it, actually, which is kind of cool. A lot of new characters. There's even one of those 4-legged goblins that's getting a character.
Ooh, and they got the squig hoppers.
New squig hoppers, new squigs.
Wow.
There's a bunch of cool characters.
Ooh, the terrain is awesome.
Yeah, it's really big too if you look at it.
Yeah, so this piece of terrain is like an angry skull moon.
It's the Bad Moon.
Yeah. It's really cool. Oh, and they have like a mushroom.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So anyways, they have the worst dice ever. Yeah, those dice are
those
terrible.
are the coolest dice!
No.
Those are amazing! These dice
They're literally molded 3D with teeth for
they're
numbers.
So cool.
No, they're not.
I'm pretty sure that the teeth is only if you roll a 6.
So these dice are as bad/good as the Death Guard dice,
Which were, cosmetically speaking, the Death Guard dice are amazing.
but they're terrible to roll.
But these dice are awesome.
Yeah,
They look
they're definitely cool.
They look like the Necronomicon, like little skin Necronomicon dice.
Sure.
Oh, they're so cool.
Sure. Speaking of Necronomicon, did you hear about the new Bruce news?
I didn't. What's going
Bruce
on with Bruce?
Campbell.
Our favorite
Okay,
Campbell.
first off, we are huge Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness fans.
Yep.
And I follow him a lot. And one of the things happened on New Year's Eve. He announced with Ripley's or Believe It or Not, that they're bringing back the old Ripley's Believe It or Not show.
Wow.
And he's going to be the new host for it. So I loved that show when I was a little kid.
I did too. That show was amazing.
And I love Bruce, so I'm pretty stoked about it. So they're going to be
bringing on AMC?
I don't know what it's going to be on.
It feels like an AMC show to me.
Who cares? It's going to be awesome.
Maybe FXX.
Star Wars. We're talking about TV show because I want to talk about it for a second. But the Star Wars that's behind the paywall. What's that one called?
The new Clone Wars.
No, the Star Wars. The Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Star Trek behind. I saw a preview with Lieutenant Spock in it.
Yeah. So they've released. I haven't watched it yet because I only pay for it when it's out. Because there's really nothing else on that paywall that I want to super watch that I can't just record on my DVR. So I'm not going to start paying for that. I think I pretty much going to start paying this month. But in December, they actually released a bunch of shorts that go before the new season. Mm-hmm. And then the new season starts in January or February. I'm really excited for it because I love Star Trek Discovery. I think it's absolutely incredible.
I've watched a couple of episodes while we were at Valhalla 2 years ago.
That's all you've watched.
And that's all I've watched because I refuse
to
pay.
Sean owes me $40.
Why?
Because I sent him my password and I was like, I'm done watching this. You can log in and watch the show. Yeah. And then he didn't watch it for like 4 months. I kept calling him. I'm like, please watch it so I can cancel the subscription until it comes out again. So there you go. They got an extra 4 months of me watching nothing while we waited for Sean to catch up.
Anyways, so I saw Lieutenant Spock and I was like, what is this garbage?
Why?
Because it's just funny. How many times is Spock going to be in a Star Trek show?
He's like 300 years old.
Oh my gosh. So here's what we're going to do. The Clone Wars are going to happen for Star Wars and Chewbacca's going to be in it.
He's old too. Him and Spock, they hang out.
All right, cool.
They hang out on their little
maybe episode 13 will be like 100 years in the future, and Chewbacca will show up, and he'll just be a big, fat, white Wookiee. He's just
in a wheelchair.
What if he's
by
like
Ewoks?
Future Jabba? Instead of slimy, he's like furry.
Yeah. Bionic eyes.
Oh, I like it. I think we should write that story.
Let's do it.
Where Chewie, the rebellion fails, and Fat Chewie, Fat Chewie becomes the most strong gangster in the world, in the universe. Dude, that's it. We got that. We got to trademark it right now.
Yes.
The date is 1/2/19. That's us.
Yep. We're gonna trademark Star Wars property. Because
Chewie.
Because we thought of a strange idea. Speaking of Star Wars, though, we have gotten deep into the new X-Wing. So we're going to take some time. We're going to talk about the new X-Wing.
Yes.
So if you don't know, X-Wing is a miniature game where you
fly.
You get to, on a two-dimensional board, which makes perfect sense. You get to fly the spaceships from the Star Wars universe on the battlefield. It's played on a 3x3 mat that usually has between 1 and 8 ships. If you have 8, you're being crazy. If you have 1, you're also kind of being crazy.
Yeah.
They do have like epic scale with some of the bigger ships, but typically you're flying X-Wings.
Now.
Well, not now. They're not in the new 2.0. We're going to talk about that.
If you go back on the channel like a year or two back, maybe 2 years, maybe 2 or 3. We played a lot, not a lot, we played some X-Wing.
Yeah.
And we've had our collection of X-Wing for a while.
Yeah.
And we did not buy into the 2.0 right away. I don't really know why we didn't.
Yeah, so what they did is they were like, we need a complete and total rules reset.
Because there was too many powerful combos and it was getting out of control for FFG to control.
So they completely reset the rules. They redid all of the ships. They redid even the dials for the ships, which is how you move them. You spin a little dial and it tells you the directions that you can go. And then over the past couple months, they've been releasing update box sets that give you pretty much everything you need for one particular faction. So First Order or Resistance or Rebels.
Well, before we even get there,
sure.
There was originally only 2 factions,
right?
Imperial and Rebels, and then they added Scum in.
Right.
Originally, Scum kind of was in Imperial because Boba Fett was in Imperials. But anyways, with the new 2.0, they're splitting that off, and they're going to be having First Order. They're going to have Resistance. They have Rebels, Scum, and Empire. Right now, they have those 5. And the first 2 just came out: Resistance and First Order. And now they've announced just recently that they're going to be putting out
Clone Wars.
Galactic Empire and the Trade Federation. So they are going to be having the bots and Sith faction against the Jedi and clones faction, and that's supposed to come out this month sometime.
But so a lot of people in the community are really upset, and there's a lot of reasons to be upset. I mean, just totally scrapping all the rules and all the markers and all the dials, and pretty much just saying all of that's garbage. Now all your cards and everything, because you have to collect cards for it, wasn't too big of a deal for Josh and I because we haven't played in a while, so we weren't super invested into that stuff. But the other reason why people have been upset is because these box sets make decisions like it's going to come with 4 A-Wings, and if you happen to have 6 A-Wings,
no
A-Wings, then the box set isn't very helpful to you. Like, to put into a 40k analogy, it would be like, oh, you now have to have cards for each one of your Space Marines, and we're giving you 4 cards for 4 squads. Well, if you happen to run 6, you got to buy an entire another box set. You know, like it'd be annoying. So people are a little frustrated with that. There is a big resale market where you can try to pick that stuff up. For us, though, again, it wasn't a big deal because we weren't really in love with particular lists, and for the most part, it covered pretty much everything that we have. The only downside is that like my Imperial stuff and his Imperial stuff can't really play them against each other if we want to play the same ships.
Right.
Because we don't, even though we may own, duplicates and triplicates of some of these ships, we may only have 1 or 2 dials and cards for them, so we do have some restrictions there. But I think that the game is much tighter now. I think it's much cleaner now. I think it's a lot easier to play. I think that the upgrade cards are a lot better. Their new app, which lets you do a list builder on it, functions really, really well, and it's super easy to build a list. And overall, I absolutely love this reboot.
So yeah, about their builder, it's all right, because I don't know how many times that you've been trying. You've like I've been in the room when you were like making a list, and then you lose your list instantly.
There's one flaw, and that is if you hit the back button before you save, it gets rid of your list. Yeah, and it is kind of annoying. You have to remember to hit that save button or not the back button.
But the real thing that they're doing is instead of printing points on everything, they basically are giving you the points, and they are updating it throughout the year.
Only in the app.
Well, it's not, they put it on their website too.
Well, sure, but what I'm saying is like the cards used to say this is a 6-point upgrade card, and no matter what ship you put it on, it was a 6-point upgrade card or a 1-point upgrade card, and then they couldn't really change the points of those very easily because it was printed on the card. So now, because it's in the app, you might have a really good card like, let's just take Hull Upgrade, which is a very common card. It gives you pretty much 1 extra wound, 1 extra hull, and if you put it on an X-Wing, it costs 3 points, or 5 points, or 6 points, and if you put it on the Millennium Falcon, it costs more or less. So the upgrade cards are now variable points depending on what ship they're going on, and that kind of helps stop some of the craziness that people found. Like, oh, I can take this 1-point card that's kind of designed for an X-Wing, but when I throw it on this other ship, it becomes way OP.
And they also even have the slots on all the ships, so all the upgrade types, those are actually on the app too, or online. So they can take a look at it throughout the year, and they're actually going to be putting up a big FAQ sometime this month that's going to do reorganization of points. And you'll see there are some factions that are kind of like top heavy on what pilots you see in tournaments and stuff. So if you, for instance, if you do like Rebels is kind of a smattering of everything, but Imperials it's like Whisper and like Redline and Sunterfell and like one other guy, and then everything else is like in the single digits.
Really?
And then for Scum it's like Boba Fett is like 30%, and then like one other guy is like 20%, and then the next guy down. And so they can change that, but not only can they change the points of the ship, they can change the points of the upgrades.
Upgrade cards.
They can take out slots. They have a lot of more freedom to really reconfigure the game.
That's one of the big things I noticed right away was not just because it had an upgrade slot. So, for example, it may have a pilot slot, but not all the pilots were available, and not all the upgrades were available. Whereas in the first edition, you could, if it had an upgrade slot and you had the card, you could do it. The other thing that they changed that people seem to really like is when you buy a ship now, you get the cards for that ship, and you don't have to buy a different faction ship in order to get the upgrade cards that you need. So in the past, if you were running, let's say, Rebels, and you needed your Rebel upgrade cards, you had to buy Imperials.
Or Scum.
Or Scum, some other faction, which I understand from a sales and marketing perspective. It's like, get them to buy more models, and then maybe they'll start playing with those models, then they'll want more models. Like, I get it. But it's also super annoying when they drop like a $50, big ship for Imperials, and they're like, by the way, your Princess Leia upgrade card happens to be in this thing that you don't need or want.
Your Super Space Marine guns are available in this Tyranid Lictor set.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great. So they did change that as well, and I think that was really good of them to do that. Yeah. But the bottom line is we've played, I don't know how many games, 5 or 6 games now?
Easily.
Maybe 7?
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Really enjoying it.
And we've and so because we don't have to collect everything. So we've kind of decided to pick one, 3 different factions. Oh, we each are picking 2 factions, and then we're sharing Scum.
Correct.
So I'm going to be doing, actually 3 factions. We're doing 3 factions each.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing Resistance, I'm doing Imperials, and I'm doing the Clones and Jedi. And you're going to be doing
First
Order,
Rebels,
and the Trade Federation.
And the Trade Federation.
And then we're sharing Scum. So I've been doing a lot of... there's an emulator online. There's a couple.
Let's talk about that really quick.
So there's Vassal, right? Vassal is like the one that everybody uses. They're like, that's amazing. It's really good for playing online, but it's not the easiest to play.
I didn't know about Vassal.
Oh yeah, Vassal is like a generic platform for playing miniature games online.
Okay.
So there's 40K versions of it. There's like everything. But it's not like the one we're going to talk about. There's a lot involved, and you got to make tokens when you click things and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of. It's very complicated to play Vassal in some respects. But there's an emulator called Fly Casual, which is a pretty recent one. Doesn't have quite everything in it, but it is beautiful and done really well. It's just by some dude that does it. He's got a Patreon page out there, but he does not make any money off of doing that. He just puts it out there. And he's got a post on the FFG forums and says, look, I'll take it down if you guys don't want me to do this, but I really feel it's bringing people in, and I really think that it has helped. We tried to use the online version of it. It didn't work so great, but you play it on your own. It's super good, and the AI that it uses is...
it kept crashing right before I lost each game. It was weird.
Yeah, weird. The AI that it uses is the program from the Heroes of the Antares clusters.
Right.
So the ships, they're actually kind of tough to defeat because they make decisions based on your decisions. And I found that, not having played Heroes of the Antares cluster that much, it took me a little while to kind of figure out how to play against the AI. But it's a lot of fun. You can play 2D, like flat looking down, or you can make it to a 3D. They've got like lighting and sound effects in the game, so when you fire your dice, it's like boo 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 boo. And the ships have like engine flares and they move. And
it's really nice because even though they don't have all the cards and all the ships in it yet, they do have most of them, and the list building works pretty much the way it works on the app. And so it's really great if you aren't playing X-Wing, or if you've only played a little bit of X-Wing, you can try out a bunch of different lists and see how they feel and trade cards around without having to like proxy or be like, okay, I'll just buy 5 A-Wings because my friend told me it was a really good idea to buy 5 A-Wings and play it. It's really fun, and we've been enjoying that a lot. The other thing about the game, this online game that I like a lot, is the online feature if it would connect. Now, I did have to update my computer, and there were some other issues going on, so we're going to try it again. But just being able to like ring up Josh and play a quick 15-20 minute game of X-Wing on the computer is great. And we've been playing silly lists, because it's like you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to spend an hour getting all your cards together and all the ships out and making sure that all your bases and everything are correct. So it's like, hey, let's just throw these 5 things in. And you came up with a resistance list that drops bombs that is super annoying and that for some reason I can't avoid. I just, whatever direction I think you're going and wherever the bomb is going, and I just land literally on top of the bomb and explode.
Yeah, I was playing a Double Fortress list with Lulu.
Yeah.
It's fun. I actually have the models to play that now, so now I can practice that.
Nice.
Anyways, and there are 4 modes in that. They have the versus AI. They have the internet. They have the hot seat, which is you basically take turns on the same computer.
Okay.
So you could log in and we could take turns there. And
Nice.
then they also have AI versus AI.
So you can just watch how
a game would go. And then you can also do, I think there's a replay mode, so you can watch games or something like
Nice. If you don't know what Heroes of the Antari Cluster is, that is a narrative campaign that's created by a third party. It's not created by Fantasy Flight. And it was for X-Wing 1.0. And the way that it works is it's essentially like a Dungeons & Dragons game where you make a pilot and you pick a ship and then you play these preset missions, and as you play the preset missions you gain experience and you can buy upgrades for your ships and whatnot. So for example, you can play Wedge, but you don't necessarily get your missiles right off the bat. You have to decide to spend particular experience points. But the really fun thing about it is you don't need a game master. So there's not one person playing the other side of the army. It's actually an automated list. And so the way that they did that is they took the X-Wing dice, which are D8s, and they have different symbols on them. And they have a matrix that says, okay, depending on where a ship is, if it's in your front arc or your side arc, the ship will always turn left, for example. It'll always turn towards you. And in order to see how far it's going to go in which turn, roll the dice, and it gives you a conversion, and they have their own upgrades and whatnot. And so this computer game has taken that, which is essentially how to program your ships, and put it into it so that you can fight against the AI.
It sounds really complicated, but it was really intuitive and easy to play. There's actually a Facebook group for 2nd edition. They're working on creating...
Heroes of the Antari Cluster 2.0.
And I think they did it for Rebels, and I think there was a Scum, and there might have been an Imperial version, but I think the Rebels was the original, the big one.
So if you're into RPGs, if you're into role-playing games with your friends, and you want to try something different, maybe you just want to take a break from your D&D 4th edition or your Pathfinder, I strongly recommend...
You said 4th edition.
They're at 4th, right? D&D's at 4th edition, right?
5th edition.
They're at 5th edition now?
For over a year.
Well, I haven't played in 2. So
I will say, to all the haters out there, 4th edition is the best edition, and I will get a lot of flack.
You are going to get a lot of
Because I loved it. It was my most fun because I had more fun trying to break the game in between games.
4th edition is not my favorite. It was amazing. But if you are playing your 5th edition D&D and you want to take a break, check out Heroes of the Antari Cluster. You can literally pick up some used X-Wing models and some used TIE Fighter models and have this fantastic narrative cooperative game that pretty much runs itself. It's great. It's really, really great.
Super cool. We got a hobby section, and I wrote ha 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 ha.
All right, so we haven't been hobbying over the winter.
I actually have done some.
You did a little bit.
I've been working on the Titanicus, but kind of slowly. I actually built Morathi and sprayed her Zenithal highlight, and then that's it.
Well, you had your hobby breakdown.
Yeah.
And that put you off hobbying for a while. What happened?
I got zapped on my nose again.
Stop touching the microphone with your nose.
I know I should do that.
What happened? Why? What broke you?
We get the new expansion, or not the board game. What was it called?
No idea.
It's the one with the new Nurgle guys in it. What's it called? I can't remember.
Kill Team? Was it the Kill Team?
Yeah, Kill Team Rogue Trader. Okay.
There we go, Rogue Trader.
So I built them, all the green dudes, and I was all excited, and I needed to spray them white.
Right, so when he says green dudes, he literally means that the plastic that the models are made of comes green, color green.
And I've got really good paint that we use for everything.
Yes.
Except it will not cover this stupid GW colored plastic. GW, stop coloring your plastic. I want to paint with white primer. Anyways, I had to do so many layers of white spray paint that
they're ruined now.
They lost detail. So I have to now strip them, and instead of stripping them, I just said I'm taking a break. because I was so mad. And it's so stupid. I had the same problem with those blight haulers.
Yep.
I don't understand the
It'd almost be better
obsession
to
with
like
this colored
prime.
plastic.
It's almost be better to like prime them gray and then prime.
Yeah,
them
I think I'm going to prime them black and then prime them white again, just because I know the coverage will be complete with black.
Yeah.
Just do zenithal highlighting and anything. It's so stupid. It drives me crazy. So anyways, I was done hobbying for a while. I think that this year...
well, hold on. I haven't talked about my hobby.
Well, I wasn't done with my hobby.
Oh, okay. All right. What else?
I'll let you talk. Go ahead.
I assembled the spin dials for X-Wing.
I did that too.
That's my hobby. And
Did you punch out some cardboard?
I punched out some cardboard, and I have been farming legendary weapons in Fallout 76. That's my hobby.
Yeah, I've been playing Fallout 76 too. To all your haters out there, yes, there are some bad things with Fallout 76, but it's still fun, and I need all of your concrete.
Why do you need the concrete? What are you working on?
I have brick walls, so I need to make...
Oh,
brick.
you're going to make your whole house out of brick.
My whole house is going to be out of brick. It's going to be a real house.
Awesome.
And I bought the fancy wood. I forgot to say I used atoms, and I bought a wood floor plan. Is that
Nice.
dumb?
That's awesome.
No.
So
dumb.
did you know that there's like a character who walks around the game, and you can buy stuff from him?
There's a couple of them.
There's one. It's always the same guy.
The super mutant?
Yes.
I think there's another one.
No, there's only one. But he has a plan on him
Yes.
that is 11,000 caps.
I don't like it already.
And it's like half of the things that you can build in your house all combined into one plan.
What's it called?
I don't remember. I saw it yesterday.
Why didn't you buy it?
Because I don't have 11,000
How many caps do you have?
I have 7,000.
It's more than me.
Yeah.
Do you still have my weapon?
You mean my weapon? Yes, I still have your
Anyways,
two-shot
this-
explosive 50 cal. Yes,
Because I got some friends that I'm getting into, so we've been getting them on. I haven't been playing it too much because I've been playing a lot of Fly Casual.
Yeah,
but I've been on a couple times this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to hobby. I'm sorry.
So we talked about hobby. That was hobby. This year, I want to do some resolutions.
All right, New Year's resolutions. Are they hobby resolutions or are they just general
They're whatever.
resolutions?
We're whatever.
Okay.
I guess we could say hobby gaming / whatever.
Okay.
All right. So, first resolution. I want to repaint some X-Wing.
Okay.
Because it is different than doing other repaints because it's very small and very small details. And I've got to figure out, I'm not sure exactly how to strip them first or which spray paint or primer works best with them. So I've got to do some investigation.
Okay.
But that is something I want to do. What's a resolution you have?
I want to start putting LEDs in some of my X-Wing and my finished 40K armies. And I actually bought like some just raw LED parts from stuff that I know how to do, and then I actually bought some kits from some companies that I wanted to review. So I have 3 different LED kits from 3 different companies to see like which one worked best. And the thing is, like, the kits from a cost perspective, don't buy kits. Okay, like they're literally marked up 1,000 times. Like you can go to online electronics dealerships and buy 100 LEDs for 10 cents and 100 capacitors for $1. You know what I mean? Like you can get.
What's a capacitor?
See, but that's the thing. That's the thing. All your different LEDs and all your different capacitors and all your different switches, it actually makes a difference which ones you use and how to put them together. So that's the nice thing about the kits.
A capacitor?
So a capacitor.
No, that's also. I don't know what a capacitor is for real, and but that's a point about why they mark them out.
Right, that's a point about why they mark them up, because they pick the transistors and the capacitors and the LEDs that they know work together properly. So capacitors hold electricity and then let it release, which you need for certain switches, and then transistors will change the amount of amperage and ohms that you have in your particular one so that you don't burn out your LEDs.
I'm already bored.
I know you're already bored. So if you know exactly what you need, then yes, you can go online and you can buy the stuff super cheap. If you don't know exactly what you need, but you know that you need LEDs in your whatever, your Land Raider, then maybe you want to buy a kit that comes with the wires and the batteries and all that stuff. So, last year, I bought some generic stuff off the interwebs. I bought
3 kits.
3 kits, and I actually want to implement them. And I probably should add to that to finish the Primaris Marines, because 2 of the kits are for the Primaris tanks.
Awesome. The other resolution that I have is to figure out what we're doing for Adepticon. It's going to be very tricky for me this year. So...
I mean, technically we're in the Long War doubles.
Technically, we're in the Long War doubles. We'll see exactly what we're going to be doing, just because my wife may or may not be having a child during Adepticon.
Well, she's having a child for sure.
But it might
not be. It might be just before.
Might be. No, it's. Hopefully, it's not before.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what the timing is.
She's due at the end of April.
Okay.
But my last baby came a month ahead. So if you do the math, it could land right in Adepticon.
Yep. So anyway, so you're only signed up for 1 day. I'm only signed up for 1 day. I'm over ambitious, but I have 2 things that I would really like to do for Adepticon.
What's that?
I want to do our terrain board for the game, so I think that we should pick some finished armies that we have, so we're not painting models like last year.
Okay.
But I want to make a sweet terrain board. Just work on the terrain board.
Well, our terrain board was sweet last year.
No, it was sweet, but I want sweeter.
Sweet.
Anyways, and I really, really want to make a costume.
I was just talking with my brother-in-law about that.
About me making a costume?
No, about making like a really good costume.
Yeah,
like
I want to make a costume. I want to make a costume.
We should do like a little like a video about us exploring how to do cosplay stuff. Then.
Yes, and we have some friends, some other YouTubers who are super good at making costumes.
That's true. That's
true.
Know,
we have like 3 or 4 of them actually.
Yeah.
Who do cosplay, and if you've been to Adepticon, you've seen them in cosplay, because there are like only 6 or 7 people who do it, and that's 3 of them. And I've like started to reach out to them and ask questions, and they keep just directing me to like Facebook groups. They won't give me any actual concrete advice. They're just like, yeah, here, check this out. I'm like, yes, that's a picture of a costume. Thank you. Now how do I make it?
No, I want to do that. I actually was talking about doing some cool stuff with epoxy wood tables this year too.
I don't know what that means.
So like those are the rescued wood tables that they
then you slather epoxy on them.
Yeah, that you use the epoxy and acrylic and whatnot to make.
Because you want to make a gaming table for your basement.
I do. I want to use the rescued wood and epoxy to make a gaming table.
We made this table.
We did, but this one's going to be fancy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's probably it. I'm going to do other resolutions, like, work out and eat. That's not going to happen.
Speaking of those,
yeah,
I did make a New Year's resolution to quit smoking.
How's that going?
I made it all day yesterday, and then I got gas today, and I bought a pack of cigarettes. Mm-hmm. So that's not good. But the Planet Fitness is now open, mm-hmm. which is like 5 minutes away from us, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I stopped in today.
Yeah. And
I upgraded my membership to the Black membership.
That's awesome.
Which means that I can take a guest.
That's awesome.
So
can you go to any Planet Fitness?
I can go to any Planet Fitness, but I can only take a guest to that one.
That's lame.
It's not lame, because you're going to be my guest, and we'll hit the gym before we do our podcast. Come on, shake.
How many times a month?
No times. Just we're gonna
we'll do it 1 time or 2. Because if you could go to any Planet Fitness, there's like one 8 minutes away from my house.
I can go to any Planet.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
Well, but if you get the basic level membership at that Planet Fitness, which I think is like $9 a month.
Yeah, my wife was like, we paid for a gym membership like 4 times and you never use it.
It's $9 a month.
I know, I'll have to.
Right, then I can go to that one for free.
Maybe I'll donate plasma.
Every month. Spinal fluid.
No, that sounds interesting. We could try it.
Look, he crossed his arms. He moved back away from the microphone. That's not
no,
not good.
No.
I'm making a New Year's resolution for you. Okay, just accept it.
All right,
we are going to the gym. We're getting buff. It's gonna happen.
I don't know about that.
We're gonna get so buff. It's gonna be great.
No, I am starting a new diet fad.
Really? Which one? You're done with
keto. I still like keto, but it's been a little bit hard to stick to it. Right. So I do really good for a while, and then it's tough. So the issue with keto is that you have to stay in ketosis. Otherwise, you drop out of that, and like it's hard to get in. You have to stay there for. Right, you just try to stay in it forever, but it's hard to do. And if you screw up, then you're out of ketosis, and then days to get back in. Whatever. So I'm gonna start doing. So as soon as I finish up some of the food that we have in my house, because my wife won't let me start until I've eaten the food that she won't eat.
It's very supportive.
No, she's like, yeah.
Listen, just finish the 4 cakes that we made for New Year's.
No,
and
so
then let's start.
Literally, here's what I have at the house. I have some Andes chocolates, which is the only chocolate that I'll eat.
Throw them in the garbage.
And then I have Chef Boyardee raviolis.
Throw that in the garbage.
Absolutely not. That's going to get eaten. And then once I'm through that, and I have a couple of breakfast sandwiches in the freezer that I need to eat, because she doesn't eat that stuff.
I love breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah. Once I get through that, which will be probably the start of next week.
I will kindly take your breakfast sandwiches.
I'm going to start doing paleo/primal.
So keto, you're doing keto.
It's not keto.
It's virtually the same thing.
No, here's the difference with that.
Sure.
You can eat fruits.
Right.
You can eat sweet potatoes and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I get that other part of the food that I couldn't get with keto. And you can do a lot with that.
You can hunt woolly mammoth.
I can hunt woolly mammoth if I want.
You can fight saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah, I'll be able to do all that. But no, so I've had some friends that were on keto and then they went to that and were able to stay on that.
No,
and
that makes a lot more sense.
The big thing...
Less restrictive.
The big thing about that is you just don't eat processed foods at all. Where there's a lot of like diet fads where people eat.
Just you saying the words "don't eat processed foods" makes me anxious.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm going to be working on, is just reducing...
Because we never eat processed foods.
We're about to go eat some processed foods right now, but like I said, my diet doesn't start till this weekend. But yeah, that's one of my New Year's resolutions.
All right, well, I think we're going to stick with it. And everybody on the internet, you can help us stick with it, or you can make fun of us for not sticking with it.
Remember, 4th edition D&D is the best edition?
4th edition D&D is the best edition. Welcome to the new year, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We're going to go eat some dinner, and then we're going to play a game of 40K, which I'm very excited about, and we'll probably play a game of X-Wing as well. I got a sweet, sweet list that I'm very excited. Definitely going to play some X-Wing.
All right, we're out. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the
table.
I made you say it.
You did.